Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to today's Lunch and Learn. I'll be your host, Jared, for today and tomorrow. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And if you need to be able to speak, we can set you up to be able to unmute and talk if you need to find out or be able to explain your question, because it may be a little bit longer than just something you can type out. I'll do my best to answer it verbally, or if it's something I can demonstrate, I'll demonstrate it, and I'll try to give you guys some action items on what to do if the question pertains to something that is actionable. As you think of your questions, there are a couple of things to be aware of. We have some cool stuff that you want to utilize for your day-to-day building in decisions. First things first is we have a specific, let me see if I can get back to my Zoom. I want to get my chat open so I can make sure I don't forget that. And I'll also get my Q&A ready. Alrighty, a couple of things to talk about before we get started. The main thing is we have a decision marketplace where you can look at all of our featured pre-built applications if you want to see how we approach certain design paradigms and decisions, or how we integrate it with certain systems. There's a bunch of different accelerators here that you can utilize to better build and to better understand your process and to better enhance it. So that's something that's available. The other, and I'll put this in the chat, so if you guys need to be able to access it, you can access it right here. It's decisionsmarketplace.decisions.com. The other fun thing is we have a Decisions YouTube channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, and also email training@decisions.com if you have any suggestions of what would be a good video. You may say, hey, I looked at the YouTube channel and there's not enough content over, let's say, calculated columns, or let's say pages, and we would love to have more content over a selection bus. Feel free to email decisions or training@decisions.com, and then we'll work on getting that video created. We'll post it on YouTube, and then we'll send you the link as soon as it goes live. So please, there is the channel link. Please comment or like, comment, and subscribe. And feel free to give suggestions on what you would like to see on this YouTube channel. So that's a lot of the fun stuff that we got there. If you're also curious on the roadmap, we had a bunch of great series from the product management team over what will be coming down in the pipeline soon in decisions pertaining to later versions of 9 and some parts of versions of 10. And there's a great link called decisions.com/events. In that web page, we talk about the Decisions product roadmap and all of the elements pertaining to the future of the product. So if you would like to, go ahead and keep that link handy for the process. Perfect. There's the events. And so I'll put that one in the chat right here so that you can navigate to it if you so choose to keep a track of or be aware of what are the future cool roadmap products that we will be doing. All right, I know it's a lot of talking. I said a lot of words, right? We're not here for a lot of talking. We want to actually solve some problems. So let me go ahead and I'm going to look at my Q&A because I got a question. All right, in version 9.9 event image buttons, alt text doesn't work and resize image doesn't work either. Let's see. All right, that's a fun one to test. So let's see what those things are. So they don't work in version 9.9. I think I'm in the same version as you, Marvin. So let me, where is chat? Yeah, I know. Let me find the chat. That was the chat. I need the participants. That's what I want. Haha, I got it. Because I'm going to allow you to talk, Marvin, if there's some context you want to bring about. But I'm just going to go ahead and start building one and talking through what I'm building. But
Okay.
if you have any, if I'm doing something that's not like your use case, just let me know. We could adapt it. All right.
And
So
and I think this was the same in previous versions of 9, but I don't remember which ones we used.
I
Just
gotcha.
observations. It's not like a killer thing, but it'd be nice to have
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure.
to
I just want to
fix.
see what the behavior is like. I believe you, which is one of the things I like to test it
No,
out.
sure. Absolutely.
Exactly. This is a test. Let's create. So are you doing anything like crazy with it where like are you
No,
populating it from an active form flow or something, or is it just
no.
okay?
It's a static button on the page on
Oh,
the,
really? Okay.
and it kicks off a the event.
Okay. I gotcha. And then this will be event button forms. I can't tell you guys how many times the first thing I do when I create like a test box is I'll create an example project and then the first flow I make is always test flow. So like if I like do a database query on like what are the names of like test flow, I'm gonna have a bunch of different uh, test flow names. I just think it's funny. Just it's like ingrained in my muscle memory when I type it. It's always like, all right, test flow. All right, so we got an what is it? Event image button, event. So this comes to, we have three types of event buttons. I don't know why we have three, and here's why I say I don't know why, is because you can drag over any one of them, and I think you can change it. I could, actually, that may be, I may be thinking of another control. View. Okay, I must be thinking of another control. I know there's one control where that we have three different form controls, and it's literally the same form control, but you can just change like how they manifest itself, either as a
Uh,
link or an image or a button, but it's literally the same control. But
Try the one below it because I don't see the alt tag option. There we go. That one.
yeah, yeah, this one's the wrong one. Yeah, this one's the right one that you use. All right, so let me go ahead and let's see. So alternate, so basically no image. So if the image is not found, okay, so if I do, this is hello, or I can't find it at all. And let me utilize, let's see, what
Yep.
if I utilize,
This will do a combination of
mm-hmm,
anything. Yeah.
I'm gonna just, yeah, I'm gonna make up a URL. There we go.
I
Should be able
like
to
it.
find it. Yep, there we go. I can't find out at all. I spelled all around. I said I can't find out. All right, so that looks like it works. But let's go ahead and put this on the flow. We got show form. Show form. Oops, put that in here. And event button, and we just can debug it because I don't care about the execution. I can't find it out. Can't find out at all. All right, so that looked like it worked. What was the other thing? The resize the image. So you're in version
All right.
9.9.
Yes. I
I want
guess
to see what
what I
version.
was anticipating is when you
Uh-huh.
hover over the image,
Okay.
at
Yeah.
least the old way, back of HTML days, when you hovered over the
Uh-huh.
image, it would show that alt tag because
Oh, I see.
that's what I was expecting.
Oh, okay. I
Not,
gotcha. So your
not,
text does appear like this, but you were thinking that you would just get the blank. Man, you're really going back to the old school days. You're hoping that it's just like one of those weird kind of like image with the mountain and like the sun, and then you just hover your mouse over it, that it says the
yeah,
text. Gotcha. I see.
that's what, because we're actually using like the magnifying glass and an X,
Hmm.
the magnifying glass to do a search and X to do a clear.
Okay.
Trying to keep it as simple as possible, at least visually, then if you hovered over the image button, then it would show the alt text.
Interesting.
That's what old school days we used to do.
Yeah,
But,
I'm wondering if
you
you can
know,
write it. I might test it out and see if I can write like a because I think that's just a isn't that like when you do the image tag, you say the source URL, make it a fake URL, and then you say alternative. I used to remember the
just
tag setup.
whenever you used to do an image tag, that alt was a property of the image tag,
Yeah,
HTML wise.
exactly. Generate. Let me ask some chat GPT. Generate me HTML to get to display HTML with an image tag and an alt tag. I'm trying to remember the syntax. Always forget the syntax of this. Okay, that's it. Haha. Okay, cool. So this is what AI said, which obviously you can't put anything on the internet that's not true. Everyone knows that, right? You know,
I don't
it's
know,
not
I
work.
can't see what you're looking at, but
It's off screen.
I'll take your
I just had
word for it.
to. I'll generate it.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
alt,
yeah.
yep,
That's what I
that's it.
want. Okay, cool. So then what I'm going to do is I wonder if I can do it this way, or if I can say, if I have, there's one that you can do. I always forget this one. What's the rich text HTML display?
I
No, it's
know there's
HTML display.
HTML display, but
That's what I'm thinking. I want to put this on here because I'm curious, will it
I
run
didn't
that?
think about that option.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is then if I say
But
I want Was it static? The URL. I need to give a URL to the. I don't want the source is just gonna be data. Can I do static? Yeah, and I just want this. And obviously that should fail. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's just gonna display.
You might have to do inline,
Oh yeah, good
a
catch.
little
I
thing
totally
down
forgot
at
about
the
that.
bottom,
Yeah,
inline embedded.
inline embedded. I'll allow unsafe because I don't, it's just my local.
Right.
And then let's see if that works. So I'm wondering if you guys can do that. And then you just have to find the thing. No, see, that's what I thought. It doesn't render it.
Right. And that's I've al
And it
I've
used
always
to.
had to build that text first and then pass it in. Good,
You had
bad,
to
or different.
build that text first. Oh, so like you
In
had to
the
do data name?
flow and then pass it in as a
Oh, maybe that's what you gotta do.
and
Is there no, let's see, that's the alt tag with it. I just remember utilizing this one behavior. That's that dialogue. I want to just try some
I
of these other options, see what
sure.
happens.
Yeah, HTML display is not my friend.
Yeah, I remember I got this working in older versions. Dialogue, and I think that should allow you to open, and then it's gonna show open. And then I open. There you go. Well, that's not. Yeah, that's not how it should work. Well, I wonder is the above was that HTML valid that you sent me? I feel like it's like missing. Okay, it says it is. I thought you have to have a
Yeah,
closing
it
tag with it.
looked valid. I mean, when I quickly looked at it, but
Oh, okay. I guess I always thought there had been like a close tag to it, and because it's not
oh,
closed. But I think with this one, this is like one of the ones that's an exception to the rule, right? Where it doesn't have to.
that he just put the close on the end. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
have to
remember
see it
either.
again.
Cause like the re how did I do? So oh no, I did the HTML to PDF. That's what I did on the other one. Come. All right, and then we just do create data at the beginning. So this HTML image stuff. I'm gonna close that. Come on, there we go. I'm also in 9.8. Well, I guess yeah. So and I think it's still the same behavior, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good.
We had an earlier versions, 9.5, 9.6, something like that. And I was getting the same.
Gotcha. Okay, good, good. There we go. And then this.
Just kind of one of those cleanup questions,
Yeah, no, I
if
gotcha.
possible.
What happened here? Where's my data name? HTML data variable. For some reason, it's not showing. I know it breaks the dependency. Come on, show me the thing. There we go. That was weird. HTML image stuff, and then I'm wondering if that launches it. Oh, okay, no, it displays it the same way. Interesting. So it looks like that's probably how we've just designed it, is we've set it up that way
So
before
it's
it.
not a true alt tag.
Yeah, it's not going to display
Sorry.
like the old way, even if you
Did it
source
hurt
it from data.
when you hover over it, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know if you need there's help text. I haven't experimented with this, but I
I haven't
know like,
used the help text at all either.
okay, like you can basically pick a help message. You can create different types of help messages. I think, is there a document that covers this? I think they're right, Jasmine. Isn't there a document that covers this, or am I just making it up? Help text.
I can check on that for you. What was the topic again?
I was trying to figure out the help text thing. Like I know you can use like help message key and stuff, but I don't remember how to do it. And I know there was a document a while back. Like help key, help key or something. Wow, I didn't know they changed the doc site. This looks really. Oh, there you go. Great. Haha. Create help text messages. So yeah, basically this is all that I remember. Is you have to create a help key, and we could probably do this just to see if this actually helps. Is you can create a help key
If the
on
help
some.
helps.
Yeah, to see exactly. I like that. See if the help helps. Yeah, and I think we could see what that looks like on it. Where like you can get something. I think this is kind of what you're thinking. You hover your mouse over it, and then it
Right.
shows that. So I
Yes.
know, yeah, yeah. So that might be while we don't do that with the HTML stuff, that might work. So let's do that together and let's see if it helps. And if it does, I'll just send you my export. So I gotta go to settings and I go to help, help, help. I can't read help. Let me just search for it. Help, not helpo. Oh, don't I have to enable something? There's something I have to enable, don't I? Okay, let's go back to the document. Let's read. All right, so we have, it's
If
called,
all
yeah,
else fails, read the instructions.
exactly. Help messages provide tooltips for your runtime. Yep, they're very helpful. Navigate. Oh, system data. See, that's why I'm in the wrong section. So I think it's in designers and it's in system data. Nope, it's not here. I could have read it better. System data. Okay, system data. System data. It's below it. And there we go. System data help. And I can add a help key and I'll say this is Marvin's key. Marvin key is what we'll call it. I want to add the help key. Now, can I add the text to it? And I want to set the help text to say, hello, Marvin. I hope this helps. And we save it. And then we go back to our project. And then let's say the only thing that I could see why this wouldn't work is, well, no, it still would. Yeah, it would. So basically, then I can pick the help key right here. And my help key was what? Marvin key, I think is what I said.
Yep.
Oh, I can just do it from here. Marvin key. Haha, perfect. So now I got that there. So now what should happen is now that I do have that alt thing, if I run this, hey, there we go. Hello, Marvin. I hope this helps. So that may work for you
Yeah, it might, but it seems like a roundabout way to,
to do it. Yeah, I
yeah,
would say you're right on that. It's not a, it's a more of a workaround instead of a kind of a utilizing, what do
yeah.
you call it?
Yes. I
HTML.
mean, it's almost like you've got two objects and you got to tie them together.
Yeah, and then you're right. I think you also would have to. It's another thing that as you export through environments, you'll probably have to be aware of. Um, making sure that comes over, right?
Yeah, and
Because
for
like,
every image that you might have, you've got to do that with. So
mm-hmm,
now is that, go back to where you define that just a minute.
sure. System, system data,
Help.
and yep,
Yeah.
add a help key and then help text.
I guess what I'm saying here is if you use several images and you want to quote the old school alt tag,
Mm-hmm,
you'd have to set one up for every one of them if they were different.
mm-hmm. No, I got you. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
I
okay.
believe so.
Yeah. And all right. Uh,
Let me try one more thing. I just want to see what happens if I do inline. See if that helps it. Boom. Yeah, it still does the same. And then I think my help text. Help text. Did I not add it? Oh, so yeah. Like I said, I thought in older versions it did that, but I guess carbon key. Oh, I was debugging it. That's why. That's why it didn't work. Yeah, yeah, no, same VT. I've tried it on other things and I've got it to work on other areas, but I guess in the form
okay.
it's different. So yeah, I guess unfortunately I think the help key would be the only
Uh,
way
yeah,
you
I
get that kind of
navigated to it so I
functionality.
can do a,
Now, what you could do, I'm thinking my mind just had an idea. You could no, well, I mean, you could make your life a little more complicated if you use an external form and then you create the whole web page in HTML and I think it respond that way. Then you can point that to decisions, but then you're kind of, you know, making it harder than easier.
now we're going back to the 1990s. I,
Hey, those were the good old days for me. That's where I'm from.
hey, I resemble that remark.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you can also try CSS. That might be an easy way, but uh
All right. How about the resizing right quick? Now, what I
yep.
did
Mm-hmm.
is I went to the where you select the image, and
Okay.
there's a resize option in there.
Right here.
No, 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 no. This was back when you were using the image event button.
Oh, you're right. I got you. Let me put that back on there. Image. Do. Nope,
The
nope, nope.
event image right there.
Boom. Nailed it. And then, yep, and we'll say
Now,
this is not here. You went to
all
view.
right, now go up and hit the pencil by the image.
Yep.
Pick
Mm-hmm.
one, any one, and you see you can resize it, but I've already got it sized down as small as it'll go. And when you actually have it on the button, it doesn't seem to resize it.
Oh, that might be a bug. Okay, let's on the button. Oh yeah, on the image button. All right, let's test that out. Because
And it
that one
seems that
definitely could
my
be a DT. Let's
main,
do. I want something with color just so I can easily see it. Let's do money because that one's easy. Yeah, where's the? Yeah, that one's got color. There was a money bag. I thought money bag. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna go money. And
of course, you can apply your own color, but
yeah, I could, but then it's like it's hard to see. All right, so let's say I make it. All right, it's
oh, okay.
microscopic. Or let's do it this way. I'm gonna make it big. There we
There
go.
you go.
And then I'm gonna run it, and then I'll make it small just to see if there's a difference. Okay, let's run this thing. Boom. Okay, it's large.
All
All
right,
right, so that one
that's
worked. So then that worked, but let's
hmm,
do it the other way. And then now I'm gonna edit this, and we'll
I
make this
think.
minuscule. Wow, that's a weird rendering in our designer.
Well, I think what it's doing, it's trying to resize to the size of the button, not
Yeah, that's a good
the
point.
tiny image into a big. Yeah, it's gonna blur like that.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, I got you. So I guess it did. I see what your point is. Yeah. Because if I did this and make it smaller, then I guess it will resize it if it was a very small space. I
To
just
make
won't.
the column really small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Read my mind. We'll do 0.1.
Okay. It's yeah.
It's still a little large. Or oh no, let's do this. Haha, I got an idea. We're gonna go grab here, and instead of it being resize, we're gonna make it fixed.
Yep.
And then we'll say 1 pixel.
Okay, that's tiny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's too small.
We didn't go that small.
You said you wanted it smaller.
Well, I
You're like within
did.
reason. All right, let's make it just a little bit. Let's do 10.
I
I think
think
it's by
I, I
six by
think I was
six, I
using
think.
a 20, but still, that's a doesn't matter. But that seems to be working. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah, there we go. That's a 6 by 6. That's what it said it is, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, then if I run it. Yeah, it is there. 6 by 6. Where's that magnifying glass that I can utilize?
Yeah, and
There
that.
we go. It's right there. Yeah, you can see it.
Oh gosh.
All right, yeah. So, but also, I'm in version 9.8, right? You're 9.9 and that doesn't work?
Yeah, but I've had this problem before 99, and we skipped 98.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So I got you. So it looks like it's functioning. I don't see any issues so far with it. And then if I make it bigger, let's make it at a decent size, not going all the way to the extremes.
That's hmm.
Okay.
Just it's still gonna blur a little bit because it's trying to looks like it's
Yep.
trying to fill that button.
Yep. I want to make it 30 by 30
Yeah.
since that's around the size that it is. Then I think it will be pretty good. Oops. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta. And then. Yep, that looks like it looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Now that I made it something more reasonable. Bum, bum. Yep, there you go. So yeah,
Okay.
that's. Are you having? So here's a couple things to check. Um, do you have your own custom CSS running on certain controls?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's something we know we need to look into, but yes.
because I was working with another client where basically they upgraded from version 8 to version 9, and when their CSS in version 8, when they didn't like the default disable look of decisions, so they wrote CSS to make a different disabled look. When they upgraded to version 9 and
Mhm.
then they applied the same CSS, it just made the control invisible for some reason. And basically, what happened was there was something in their CSS that behaved differently in version 9, and all they had to
Right.
do was just rewrite it, and then it worked fine. So that could explain the different sizing. You may have something in the CSS you've applied on that
Okay.
control saying
Because I
things have
think
to be a
we
size.
did use we were in version 8 when we started our CSS, so that may be a possibility.
Yeah. That's what I would do. And a simple test to it is what I would do is like get like a local install of decisions, like something that's just not licensed, so that you just export that form, export that CSS, and then just compare. There's a couple of tools that I use for it. I like, for example, I'll use what is it? Live
Yeah.
CSS,
Yeah, I've
or
used that, but
yeah, and then you can obviously F12 and just click in and see, okay, what's this, and then you can see what's kind of running on it. I'm for it. So.
okay. This is probably a completely a lot. What'd you say? An unlicensed version?
So decisions, you can download decisions on our
Right?
website and you can install it on a local computer. You just have to download like a SQL Express and things like that. But that's kind of what everyone internally, what decisions does is like this is just my local instance of decisions, so I can test things. And then once I've
Okay.
confirmed it's good, then I can, export and move things around.
So
Um,
that would be outside of our dev environment then.
Exactly, because it's you don't want to make sure if you want to just you're
Yeah.
curious about if something's going to work and you want to experiment with it, but you don't really want to change too much since we do have a shared dev world in
Right.
decisions. So having a local just helps it easier where you're just like, okay, cool, now I can do whatever I want since I just copied it, and then I can just test it out.
Okay. What I might do, we've got somebody else that's going to look at the CSS, might have them contact support and maybe
Yep.
just have them email us the default CSS files. That way
Sure.
we're starting from scratch
Mm-hmm. That'll work.
and only, and if I remember correctly, because it's hierarchical, if that's the
Mm-hmm.
right word, we
I
could
gotcha.
we only put in our version what we want to override.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is correct. Okay,
Yep,
fine.
that sounds right to me.
We're getting off topic here, so but thanks.
Yep, no worries. Alrighty. So that's that one. Yep, you could use JavaScript control UI CSS. Yep, that would work too. Any other questions, Jeremy or VT? Any other questions? Oh, I'll give us about a couple more minutes, and if there's no questions, we'll just end it early today so that we can upload this YouTube video to the YouTube channel. And again, if you have any like suggestions, like we would like suggestions for the YouTube channel. How our process currently works right now is we're just kind of go through and say what are the things that we don't talk about, and then me and the training team we just say okay we're going to make a video over that, whether it be like message queue architecture or whether it be by Kafka MQ module, and then we create that collateral. However, if there's something that you guys think would be better on there that you don't see it inside of the YouTube channel, just email training@decisions.com with us a video suggestion, and we'll definitely review it. And if we um, create it, we'll upload it to YouTube, and then we'll send you the link to it. So we want to make sure that we're creating content that is going to help you guys instead of just us kind of picking things out of a hat and just saying, all right, we're going with that one. So All right, give us about 1 more minute. And if there's another question, we'll keep going, or if there's no other questions, we'll just.
Hey, Jared.
Yes.
The new fancy flow stuff that comes in 9.11, correct?
Exactly. 9.11 has the flow designer refresh.
Yeah,
All that
that's
stuff.
what I thought. Okay.
If you're curious about like if you want to be refreshed on what that is, I know we have the video. There was a flow designer refresh. I can share. I'll share that. See, update. Yeah, flow designer refresh. Boom, right here. I'll post this in the chat. So if
Yes.
you and James want to like watch what those changes are, it is in the chat right now. So yeah, we try to make sure that we post a lot of the newer stuff like that on the release notes, the new features in a YouTube
I
video, so you guys
think
can watch it.
James had looked, but because I had seen it on the roadmap or something that somebody had talked about. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but
Was it Kirsten? I think you were there with
yes,
Kirsten. Yeah.
yes. And I said, "Oh, that looks good."
Yep.
But anyway, I don't know what here.
Why HTML? Let's see. Another question. Why HTML tile is not available on forums? I don't know. That's a really good question. Let me take a look at that. So if I go here, go to my local. Let's see, form stuff. Actually, let me just open up the one I've already created. HTML tile. Yep, I'm not sure. I don't know if we had the HTML tile for some older stuff. I know I think in the page designer we do. Let's see, HTML testing things. And I think there's an HTML tile here. Or I guess it's just display HTML. And you could dialog and inline. So yeah, but I'm not sure why. That'd be a good question that I can ask our UI dev team on why there's no HTML tile. I guess that would be cool if you can just write your own HTML and it just renders it, which is what I think the display HTML should do. Simple tile on page. Oh yeah, that's right. You could do that. Simple tile. Add it there, and then you can say, hey, display HTML on it. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, the only thing I could think of is maybe why they didn't do it is because we do have a concept called external forms, and in external forms, then you can create your own HTML form and point it wherever, and then you can send that data via get call or your service outcome to decisions. And so that could be why there's no need for a HTML tile on a form, because you could just create your whole entire form via an HTML and then apply your CSS and all your JavaScript controls and all that fun stuff. So the flexibility is already there. That's the only reason that I could think of about it, but yeah. Alrighty. Anything else? Yeah, I've done a lot of those too. Where I think I did that too with like displaying data on a PDF where I would generate HTML and then convert it to a PDF. So like people can do line by line items for like data from a data repeater and stuff. It's definitely helpful. I think that was in version 8 when I did that. But alrighty. Any other comments, questions, criticisms? All right. I don't see any more questions. So tomorrow you'll have me again. So if you have any other questions or you want to follow up and talk about any of the stuff that we talked about yesterday, feel free to do so. I'll be on tomorrow to lead the lunch and learn. Also, if you do want to submit a suggestion to the training team for a YouTube video, just email training@decisions.com. And then we'll work on it as soon as we can. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.